Jahorayang La Shanza Lo Ganga Lodrö Jumni Jangja Nyanda Nanda Raza Jinye Donga Jaya Zirja Niji Dagara Lawan Ganda Jibbe Zara Mari Mando Dengwa Jeza Ruzo Gala Gaji Darje Yala Jibje Yandas Rudara Jedro Nyamo Nyamo Lije Jadro Dronza Maru Maza Dengara Nyaga Janye Jonza Raja Daja Zabji Dajo Yonda Lijo Jati Do Jada Jada Jani Jati Dal Munzira Jawara Yala Dada Umara Bazanardo 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 Tidun Jijin Jero Ozira Jedolo Dama Mambaravzan Guadan Damjo Jean-Le Daba Lodrö Bomir Nava Gede Soro Nyarji Jimbo Tsodun Nyume Jan Zone Molo Jimbo Ngadya Pagara Darngon Zandu Jemedo Tumba Diji Jala Shanzalo
Good morning, everyone.
Teni nga tsu terang nyama samba teni chatri teni chatri nga tsu tartan gonzi ke yin teni na di ngonde teni namba tamchi ke nga tsu karsang gongde shaba jindu shangchim shokda semki go re.
So this is the third day of our teaching together, and we are going to begin our morning session now. Please, everyone, before we do, make an aspiration of bodhicitta with which to listen to the teaching in the way that we have talked about on our previous days.
Tani shangchim ke semzea de nga tsu tani thakpa chimbo ke chu tsangma ke tani tamchit rao chit rabo de re.
Bodhicitta is really like the essence of the Mahayana teachings.
Teni shangchim ke semde nga tsu thakpa chimbo ke tani chit yinpa matsit nga tsu thakpa chimbo chok ngoma de re, se chok mo chok rabo de re.
And in fact, we can say that it's not just the essence of the Mahayana teachings, but it's like it's the soul or the life force of the teachings.
Teni teze gubi gimtsum kangre zena teni nga tsu shangchim ke semde mena nga tsu gom gyab nandra, domban don nandra, leka kang lena teso tamshit teni thakpa chimbo ke chu retab ke mare.
And the reason that we say this is that without bodhicitta, without this motivation, then any dharma activity that we do take part in, whether it be meditation or recitation or whatever kind of activity it is, without this motivation of bodhicitta, then it doesn't correspond to the requirements of the Mahayana path.
Teni shangchim ki sem yonana, shangchim ke sem ti togne, teni nga tsu shawa leka kang lena yang te tsu tamchi po teni thakpa chimbo ke chu, te yang chu halipa ka lap chimbo teni rindo re.
However, with a motivation of bodhicitta, then whatever activity or action it is that we do, it will become action in accord with the Mahayana path and action of an extremely vast and great significance.
Teni shangchim sem ke panyon te tso na shunjika, nga tsu shunjika taga lega tangbo ke nang la te tse song tuk teni, te so tamchi po la tsangma ke teni lo yung shi na halipa ya po yo re.
The benefits of bodhicitta are laid out in the first chapter of the way of Bodhisattva, and this would be something that would be very good if everyone would read.
Teni yinna teni shangchim shunji ke teni lega tangbo na la teni shangchim ko sem ko phayon hale ba mangbo yo mare te dun dor dipan ra pore te na nga chu makashi to tenim do dipala lojong shikila tini gabu yore tina tini tela tana yabo hakondore.
The discussion or the laying out of the benefits of bodhicitta in the first chapter of The Way of a Bodhisattva is not particularly complicated or elaborate. It's a rather condensed or abbreviated treatment. And so for those of you who prefer a simpler presentation of the teachings, you could read this first chapter of The Way of a Bodhisattva.
Tani tez tarong jeban rapo teniz te gana tez mambun rapo teniz shanchib kusem payon tez mambun rapo teniz ship donna tani ngatsum dor de paroche la ta gore paroche ga nangla tani shanchib kusem ga tani ta payon tani pe japchak goni tani jachir tani songyore.
And for those of you who would prefer to read a more in-depth or complex treatment of the benefits of bodhicitta, then there is a very in-depth presentation of bodhicitta in the Prajnaparamita literature.
Tanim do de parochi the inji ye tolan dug te kena batamchi ko tini to chimjin ba injiri te na te inda man da tastok she gore te latana te tinala shanchip ko sim ko payo mambo sondus hale ba ya boyore.
And this is available in English translation, and so there is a really elaborate discussion and very detailed laying out of the benefits of bodhicitta, and this would be very beneficial if everyone were able to read.
Tani ngatsum matseshi ko nala te suso kable mambo jabni tani kashi ko ta suso ko gormo te asomo so samni titola shik jab tani kashi ko tani rigni ko ta chisun thombo tani yong samni titola shik jab te kashi ko suso rangla tani nyanchang jada yangna wangcha da toptang da tani yong samni titola tani ta mtsama ko tani shik jabni tani taga warta tani me mambo tani ko nala titsut samchipo tani nala sungyore.
Some people really invest a lot of effort in their life in working and making money, whereas others invest a great deal of time and effort in study and education and reaching great cultural attainments. Others, on the other hand, invest a great deal of time and effort in achieving fame and power. In any case, these are pursuits in respect of which many people devote most of their time and energy.
Tani pena nga cho mosik tini ta zambalang de la tini kina tani ti kapsa tani nga cho la shir yo mare pamjur yo mare tani jamba thopthang yo mare jiji yo ma wangcha yo mare jiyon yo mare tani pena tani gortik tawre nga cho kharsang shepi gortik tin ra wozre tani ti thoni soso tani lojong shi tani kable mambo jamni tani gortik thoni yang mambo tani kable jamni mambo sone tani tamayang atso tani jikting thoni roi kaps yang gortik thola sher rogo gore gortik thoni yarar song kora chimbo shi jamni yang tama mar gortik thola yong jire.
So when we first arrive in this world, we have nothing. We have no knowledge, we have no power, we have no money. It's like we start off, just as we were talking yesterday, at point zero. Through working very hard and investing a lot of time and energy in various pursuits, study, etc., we're able to accumulate various things. However, when we reach the time when it is we face the time of death, then ultimately we have made one great circle and we prepare to return to 0 point again.
Tani nga chogum baba kabli mambo jabde ate so thamchipo tini nirkab ko tini phamba chamma to ba tini gyang rangbo zla tana tini tela phanthok yorji gona pe kabli khagbore je nga cho nirkab inna tini soso gormote ju sagna te ngala phanthok yo nduk sam gyore soso la wangcha de ju na ti ngarang la phanthok nduk sam ne tini sam gyore rete inna yo partini to tisut te rangbo ro tini zla tana nga so baba ti so thamche pola tini phamba ga jiang me pa tini roine ko chama laryang tini korth ko tola marathon jik me pa ko toni rogo re nga so lagba tongwala tini ten zambalang di thola yong tini yang parndoi chena lagba tongwala rogo du.
these various things that we work very hard for and that we labor very hard for, however, really only have temporary benefit for us. That is to say, they are able to bring us short-term benefit perhaps, but not so much in the long term. So many people think that, oh, well, by making some money, it will give me benefit now in this life. Attaining a bit of power is also likely to bring me some kind of benefit. And while this may be the case to some extent in the short term, if we take a more long-range perspective, we can see that all of these labors really don't amount to much. That is, that despite all of our efforts and our labors in this life for various goals and various purposes, when it's time for us to die and return once again to the 0 point from which we emerged, then we return empty-handed at this point, just as we were empty-handed when we arrived.
Nguni tani shana mulum tawa tindiziri mulum thamchinda bo tindiri mulum ganani yar sapi ne kumna teni nga so te yopa nga chum barchunda teni nga so kavli jawya ta teso sama teni ta mepa chakare samnyad yar sapi sina.
We could say this entire life of ours is just like one big dream. When we wake up from a dream, we realize that all of our labors and energies expended in the dream just dissolve like that.
Teni ta tenti na nga so mtsite la tsawani jiji nyambo mepa rezena teni nyambo yopa yinda nyambo mepa yin teni nga so suso ko lekala nga so lamkha teni damga shikite la thungjo re.
So whether or not our lives have meaning and whether our lives are purposeful really depends on the choices that we make.
Tanim damga de karti norsona tangune nga chum mse de la te nyangbo jijing me pas tini te rendo ndu lo simchi jengap chi tini jila a ta nga chum mali thopi tondang dere ze na nga chum zummu chu sa jijing menken tini ze rendo re ze nga chum lamka te damga yak bo she mashina.
If we make the wrong choice in respect of how we lead our lives, then it is possible our lives will become, the lives we lead will be without purpose and not full of meaning. That is, if we direct our energies towards meaningless pursuits, then after 30 or 40 or 50 years, when we look back on this precious human life that we received, we'll realize that in actual fact we haven't really used it for any purposeful objective and that it has really come to nothing.
Tani damga yakbo shi sona tini nga zo mchin mulum ta zre ta inna yang te mulum te la yang mulum te yakbo dondang damba tini zi yang tini shi tsir yori.
If we make the right choice or a correct choice, then even though this life is like a dream, it is possible for us to lead a dreamlike life that is rather more meaningful in nature.
Tani damga de kang re zena tani nga zo mchi chikpo mchi yongzok nga zo ti chu changma de tani chi dari kongla sha ban da nga zo tani pamjor dang tani wangcha dang tani nyanjak da so ta da ka thokla tani korshu shi jagna tani teso tamjo po nga zo kangtar tani nit sapi ne kamna tani alakur den gergere te na ti kaps sapi ne kamna te tondak ji me pa tani de re malum tang malum mo jimbi ne kamna tondak yoban ra o tani de nang gre yena malum kangtar ni ma chila sago re sapi chena tani changma tani de alakur de gerni de tondak me pa chakare.
So for this reason, if we spend our whole life, as we just said, pursuing things like money and status and our reputation, ultimately there is a point when we return to zero that all of these things amount to nothing. That is, while we're in the dream, we're in the midst of the dream state, they might have some meaning or they might be meaningful to us. However, it's inevitable that there is a day or a point when we have to wake from this dream, and when this happens, all of these various things will really be of no significance.
Teni yang mlum ginjikten di nangla teni tonda khashis nga chu ti thola te ti chu te tang ten ba chun de shi thamna teni nga chun rowi ne kamna kher nin ro choya o teni changma teni da lakor ten gir marguwa teni tonda ka khashi yore.
Within this dreamlike world of ours, however, there are a few things that we can be diligent in respect of or work hard for that we can actually take with us, you might say. So these are things that at the end of our lives don't return to zero and nothing.
Teni te tholam baba te shi thamna teni nga chu te kher nin ro chokore ten ro te kher nin ro jis yona teni nga chu mchi te yang tondang dambaz rezi na yang te chokore.
So these things that we can work hard for are things that we can take with us. And so you could say that by working hard or striving for these things, this would make our lives meaningful in nature.
Teni yendi teni nga chu mchi te tondang dambaz shi ta mshi tondang dambaz shi ta yang na ton mepaz shi e chama nga chu su so rang la la yore.
So really, whether our lives are meaningful or not, whether they are lived with purpose or not, is something that rests in our own hands.
Tartan rapoyna nga chu su so teni la la yore teni tisun de par garwi jini teni nga chu la la yo mare ti kaps nga chu teni thapsi yo mare.
At this point in time, the choice is in our own hands. However, after a period of time, we will no longer have these hands and will not be in this position to exercise choice.
Pena nga chu teni namshi te jangmu yo sa sacha te soda sacha te thumbo yo sa sacha te sola teni lo chi na la teni lotok teni korma chig ma tok pa te ndepki yo mare je teni jang moya te te shikare je teni na teni shiki ti tsik te teni mavgar wi kond shiki ti chot te par mason wi kond teni so so jang mona ne mona chokore teni tor mona chokore yang jamba teni choma mona chokore kan mona chokore ti kaps so so rang la yore teni ti tsik te par garwi jini teni lo chi na la teni ta gang ta te mo wa tang depi teni tirk bi amare ta perna te dang da pore.
So we could say it's rather like places that farming lands at somewhat higher altitudes where only one harvest is reaped per year. In the spring season, if the crops are planted by the spring season, then it is possible to grow all kinds of things, grains such as barley and wheat and other kinds of vegetables. However, once this spring season has passed, if this opportunity is missed, then it's no longer possible to grow anything after this, and then the opportunity to harvest for the entire year will have been lost.
Rowi ne kabna tani lakor to kir murguwa tani nga su khirni ro chokpa ti so gangre zena tani ngimjong re shanship ji sem re tani tonye te tonda tonye topi tavari te so korwa nga su khirni ro chokore.
So what are these things that it's possible to take with us when we reach the time for our death? What are these things that don't return to zero? Well, these things include renunciation, compassion, and a view of emptiness.
Tani nga chun norwa changma the nonchar changma the tini chu shone yenare jiting shone yenare nga chun norwa changma the jangrang bola ta ma te pijimsin jinjung go yore nga chun nonchar changma.
All of the mistakes that we make in our lives, whether they be in relation to our religious life or our worldly lives, are all due to our inability to look ahead in a long-term way.
Tani nga chun mo changma ga semkham de tin ri pena kyorang la dawa jima na la tani kyorang la gormo nigya jin na gada dawandi na la kyorang lamsang gormo gya la la jana gazina nga chun mangboz ga nga tarta gormo gya ngarang la jin na ti gaze gre.
Similar to if we asked someone, would you rather that I give you $200 in 2 months' time or $100 now, today? And a great majority of people would prefer to have $100 in their hand right now.
nga zo mo changman janda ri nga zo tini chi la ta ji ndun la ta ji la pe gabu yo re ti jangrang bo la ta ji de nga zo sge na te zo khabo re.
And everyone, everywhere is like this. We prefer to have things sooner. We prefer things that we can gain more quicker, that are in our close proximity. We are really not habituated to look further or in a long-range sense into the future.
Teni nga zo mtsega na la yar jin ro ji da nyamling ko to la yar jin ro to da ma to te yang te la rak la yo re changma nga zo tini mungar ta la ta ni tini shini jangrang bola ta matab na tini nga zo jangrang bola tini yar jin ro tapshi gobjuk o te shek mare te ma shi na tini nga zo changma de jangrang bola yar jin ro matab tini nerkap se tini yar jin ro na te tichu te par jok sarvi jini tini chi chi me pare ro wi jimsen de deres.
So, in fact, whether or not we are able to develop and flourish well in the future, progress really depends on whether we are able to project and to look further into the future, to have a more long-range view. If our approach is simply to focus on the short term and direct all our energies in respect of this, then this is not a sustainable or a tenable way to really work for long-term progress or long-term development.
Teni nga zo takpa chimbo ku chugu nangla teni kari sunga dukzi na teni nga zo shawa kangdang kangyin na tarta pe na nga zo tarta yang pamba yo teni maung ba yang rangbo la yang pamba yo nika la pamba yo kanga teni shawa zingin na teni nga zo yinda menda teni dribgo gore soni teni sunga re.
So what do the Mahayana teachings tell us about this? Well, what they say is that whatever action we are undertaking or whatever task it is in question, if it has benefit now and has benefit for the future as well, that is that the particular action in question is able to benefit both our present situation and our future situation, then it is the kind of action that we necessarily must engage in.
Teni tarta yang pamba me la maung ba yin rangbo la yang pamba menken ta no pa yung ken zi na teni yin da menda ti drib nyang mari par pang go re sone teni song re.
And it's also said that actions or conduct that bring harm in our present as well as in our future are the kinds of actions that we should abandon and get rid of.
Teni tarta nga zo ti tsu tong tong go wang tu shi na ti zu pamba yo na yang yang rangbo la samlo tang na teni pamba menken ge teni pamba menken da no pa yung ken ge shawa teni yo te yin na teni drib nyang mari sone teni song re.
And as for actions that may have some benefit in the short term but don't in the long term, that is that they not only do they not have benefit but they are likely to bring harm, then these kinds of actions are also not the kind that we should engage in either.
Teni tarta teni je pantok me pan ra po yin na teni yang rangbo la ta yung na teni pantok ya po yung ken ge teni shawa te su te yin da man da drib go gore te yin na yang rangbo la tar go so ne teni song go re.
However, actions or things that don't have benefit for the present moment, however, will surely have benefit in the future, then this kind of action should certainly be pursued. So this is a long range or a wide-ranging or a long-term perspective.
Ata ti indi yang rangbo la teni ta samlo te zi ta na nga zo la pamba yung ken une chang ne pamba yung ken te teni shangship ko sem da ngim jong da tichu ko ra teri tichu thola nga zo tichu te zu tang ne kamle te zu jam na teni rentang yo pa teni zi re.
So if we really look at what things are likely to bring us sound benefit in this long-term sense, then they are precisely bodhicitta and renunciation and so on. So by investing effort in respect of these things, by being diligent in working towards these things, then this is a sound approach for us to take.
Oya tate nga zo nangchu zenanja takpa chimbo zenanja ti rentang katawa te teni zire.
So, where this is a value perspective of Buddhism, you could say, or of the Mahayana teachings in particular.
아야 되니 다때랑 아초때 상집 그세한데 동반이 그더니 돈지나 초거래 양나더니 상집 그 셈텔라 근접 상집 그 셈당 돈덤 상집 그 셈제야 니레 디나니 돈덤 상집 그 셈제나 초거래 되니 대 곰릭티 곰탑티 때랑 아초 돌디밥샤 그래.
So today we are going to be looking at a practice, an emptiness practice, you could say, or you could also say a practice oriented to achieving ultimate bodhicitta.
되니 대 조대 가서 되니 동반이 때랑 되니 동반 망부요래 가서 탁바침 보고나라 동반이 지득제한다다 되니 동반이 니시 탐바제한다다 양나 동반이 지제한다 동반이라 망부요래 디 나니 대랑 아주 조대네 되니 아주 심그 동반이 대 냠림시서 그 거데 되니 시작그래.
So in the Mahayana teachings, there are emptiness is categorized and described in many different ways. There is a categorization or a classification of 16 forms of emptiness, or 20 forms, or 10 different forms. In terms of the emptiness that we're talking about today, this is primarily emptiness in relation to the mind and cultivated through meditation practice.
되니 동반이 되니 곰서도 연바되니 샤자 침보되니 레즈 샤자 침보 냠는 시스르 그때니 그 탑시즈레 때 옛나양 되니 아주 조바 침보나라 된디시니 되니 냠는 시거레 되니 샤자 침보다 조바 침보니까 종직니까 임비트이 되니 양만보 요레 때 옛나 셰탄 당부 되니 때 탑신도 샤자 침보나라 샤거레다 되니 아주 되니 냥마이나 까지디나 만보 건달라 냠는 시거레 되니 나 아주 스 냠는 시나 초거레.
So the meditation practice that we are studying today is a Mahamudra practice. It's also a practice that is used in the Dzogchen tradition as well, and there are many traditions of combined Mahamudra and Dzogchen practice. In general, however, we refer to this as a Mahamudra practice, and there are many Nyingma and Kagyu practitioners who do practice this kind of meditation. In general, it's one that can be practiced by anyone.
오야 되니 단디 나라가리 손도즈나 되니 셔칭 nenjur 슴점 년림 시 탑남 탈기 주니 집된 밤 통영 나드스 되니 가초 디나라 샤피티니 탑데 냠림 시 탑나 갈레 름지 되니 가초 되가 닐그 돈 되니 돈듬된 바 닐그 돈지나 되니 랑그 심그 되니 닐그지나 대랑 대 되니 가초 똑탑 그래지 대 똑탑이 짐슨도 가레레지나지 대 오늘 대샤 그래.
So starting with the first verse of this teaching, if you're able to practice Mahamudra with resting movement and awareness, it's a key method for seeing the ultimate nature of phenomena. And so here what we're really saying is that by gradually, step by step, practicing this form of meditation, it is possible for us to see whether we call it the ultimate nature of phenomena or the ultimate nature of the mind. This is possible through practicing this meditation method.
셈지 추니 대식냥보 요바당 대람망가 나트는 비원기 데스 실당 아초되니 다 낭추 탁바 침보고 제나 되니 아초 셈디 ngo마 거랑 같으니 닐링 ngo만다오데 강엔제나 되니 대식냥보 제나 상기기 이시지나 되니 대직바리다 대인제 그래.
So in the Mahayana teachings, it is said that the ultimate nature of the mind is either is described as Buddha nature or the 대식님 보양나 상기기 이시래.
상기기 이시.
Yeah, or the wisdom, the Buddha's wisdom.
되니 대식냥보세야 되다 상기기 이시세야 되니 돈닥 직바레스.
So the wisdom of the Buddha or the wisdom of a Buddha and Buddha nature mean the same thing.
tani nangchu chaparta tani thakpa chimboda chaparta tani sang dorji thakpa tani zegare tani khorangso ozena tani ngachu tani mi sim go ngomati kare zena tani pena ngachu tarta ndapon tani ndochagyo yerdang khongcho tani nyomumba mamboyo pa sim kanala makipa mamboyo pa tani z mare ze ngachu ngomati ti mare ti ngomati ngachu sim go ngomati pe halipa tani yakpo tani ta number takpa tani z resone te songres.
So in the Buddhist teachings, and particularly in the Vajrayana, it is taught that the fundamental essence of the mind is not one that is obscured by afflictions and negative emotions, by desire, by anger, by hatred, by unhappiness, etc. It is taught that the basic essence of the mind, its real essence, is in fact very positive, extremely pure.
Ti inayang tini jidang kinla tini tini tatanga su simgo ti ngo tini namba janda po simgo ngo korang lang girwa yo marita inayang tini namba ti tola tini namba jamba tini namba dugbo o ndocha yo jedang yo tini tindrigo tini namba tindriz re yo re ti namba ti pena namba tu korang ka tini namka ko chun tabo ziri chun te chun ti indi namka la chun mangbo yo na tini namka korang ka namka ngumbo ti yakbo ti tini tong tong ko mare pena tinda pozeri inna tini chen yopi ne kumna namka korang ko ngombo ngo korang ngombo tinri yore o tedang da pozeri songore.
However, due to the interplay of various causes and conditions, this fundamental pure essence or pure nature of our mind, even though it doesn't change or transform itself, nevertheless becomes obscured by other afflicted mental states and negative emotions. So it's similar to clouds that cover the sky. Even though they may be there, the sky itself is still blue. It hasn't been changed.
Teni ngachu sem go ngo tela kola jabju ji jabgo marze korang ngo goni teni korang ngama ni teni dudni zena yini zena teni korang ngama ni teni korang ngo teni number takba tindizire korang ngo la jabju ji jabgo marete dershak nyambore sangi gishita chikpare zegre.
So this nature, or what we call primordial nature of our mind, is not something that needs to be changed. It's not something that needs to be worked on. It is, and always has been, completely pure. And this is what we refer to as Buddha nature, or the wisdom of the Buddha.
Inayang tini ta namtok ta ramada mambo tini pe na namkha korang ngombo inayang ta tongba ina tina la namtok mambo di chen mambo yongare tinda po chen yopi ne kamna namtok mamtong namkha ngombo mamtong wa jawo ngacho namtok mambo yopi kapsa teni ngacho sem kana la deshak nyambo yo zena mi mambo zu samlo ta ngai sem kana la deshak nyambo di gandhi yo ko na gandhi zi na samni teni ngin thong ko munduk samni teni samgare.
However, when our minds give rise to a great deal of thought activity, of discursive thought activity, then it's very similar to a sky which is originally blue and covered by clouds. In this situation, it's not possible for us to see the blueness of the sky. So many people, when their minds are characterized by this thought activity, wonder how it can be that the ultimate nature of their mind is Buddha nature. How can this be the case, they wonder.
Teni te pena ta ngacho me mambo zu ngarang ga sim kana la deshak nyambo yore zina teni ngacho nyamnyung men kan tini ga mambo yichi ga marite deshak nyambo kandi yona sane teni samgre.
So for many people who don't have experience or experience through meditation, they really doubt whether or not they do have Buddha nature.
Tani pena ngaso nyima simganani nyin tangbo dang tani khasang ga ngatu chabar da nyin tangbo nyim bar tani namba ne tani namkhala chunba mambo tani ndowa pena di kaps pena muschi katini tarnga yanchu korang katini namka ngombo tsawanin thong mamyung khang ka muzgla ota chen mambo ndukta ina chen ti thokla tini ta namka ngombo tini yore zina tini mug tini tokba ki gre zin di chen di thokela namka ngombo tini yore zin dukta te yona mena samni tini tokba ki gre zin namka ngombo tsawani ring mamyung khang ka muz yopi wan de shina korang tokba ki gre.
So 3 days ago, or during the first day of our teaching, it was a very rainy day, and there were many, many clouds in the sky. And on this very rainy day, when the sky was very cloudy, if we had said to a person who had never ever seen a blue sky before that beyond these clouds there is in fact an expanse of blue sky, they would no doubt be very doubtful, they would be very skeptical, they would wonder how this could be, never having ever seen a blue sky before.
Tini korang ka samna namka de ngombo de ingi mari namka de ngarang ka tana na ngombo thong mundu ngarang ka tana na namka nakbo tin thong mundu namka nakbo ingi re ma to ngombo yo isa mari samni tini samgare.
And this person would think, well, I don't think that this is the case. I can't see any blue sky above me. When I look up, all I see is the black clouds. So I don't believe that the sky could be blue.
Tani perna kharsa nyingkong rao tini namka ka tini chen tamchi boma me pachak ni tini namka ngombo reyong di tini korang ka samna o nguni namka ka tini ngombo de yinzu samni ngama ngi namka tini thong ka mayo zi ma tok pa namka tini ngoni ngombo yinzu samni tini zo korang yi chin rao re.
However, just like yesterday afternoon when the clouds finally parted and opened up the blue sky, well, if the person who had originally doubted the existence of a blue sky had seen this, then they would realize that after all the sky really is blue, and that their lack of belief in its blueness before was only due to never having seen it.
Teni ten rabore te dang chikpare ngaso teni namtok tarta ngaso semganala namtok mombo yopi kapsa ngaso deshak nyambo jisum thong mundu te ayo mayo samni teni samgare teni gum gyabni ngaso namtok tamchi mar mepa chakne teni nilikutun yakpo tokpi kapsa teni ngaso o deshak nyambo jisum du deshak nyambo jisum yore songkondukta te rendu deshak nyambo jisum du samne soso nyamnyung gone teni hakondo gore.
So it's just the same where we are at the moment with minds, with so much discursive thought activity in our minds. People wonder why they can't see their Buddha nature and whether or not they do possess Buddha nature. However, through engaging in meditation practice and being able to see Buddha nature and experience Buddha nature for oneself, then we will be able to discover that yes, Buddha nature really does exist, it really is true. And in this way gain a direct experiential understanding of it.
Yana perna nga zu chide parin kyakba chakni kyakbari ni rungun ra oren ore perna shangni dang teni lorni peji nanji tesola teni kyakba chimbo rungun ra bodin ri to nduwa ti kapsa nga zu mokchiglam zu mozu ni ndo chire di rungun mare ndo chire zina teni hama kong keng mo so ndo chigala yin chundin di ya mare de ndo rungun re zini teni zegres.
So it's rather similar to water and its relationship to ice. At the North and South Poles, there is a great deal of banked up ice, and in many situations looks like mountains. And a person not knowing that these mountains were formed of water might go there and say, oh, look at these mountains, and they would doubt that they were made in fact of water.
Teni di kapsa teni korang teni kyakpa te chide teni kyakpa re ni rungun rabo teni reyo vi kapsa inna di kapsa korang ka namba ti teni partana teni ta don rabo ta rungun rabo teni re yena teni namba ti teni re ta yena korang ka ngo te di kapsa tarong chire.
Even though a person looking at these ice formations would see a form that looked as if it were made of stone or was mountain-like, in actual fact, the basic essence of these formations is in fact water.
Teni te 가서 다 먹하시는데 치마인데 두레 근데 실레 근데 그래서 먹공간소 옛날에는 녀맛 잡니 근데 시용의 값을 그런 건 나니 치특바식 특바니 근데 자용디 미만 보고 근데 근데 두리면도 근데 실레면도 근데 치린도 삼니 디 값을 하고 그래.
So many people looking at these mountain-like formations would say, oh, they're made of stone, or oh, they're made of glass. But as the sun shines and the ice formations melt one drop at a time, then people would finally realize that in actual fact they're not made of stone or glass at all, but made of water.
되니 대당 잡으시니 나초 따따가리 삼고르는 나랑 그 셈데 뉴문바레 나랑 그 셈데 노착레 나랑 그 셈데 제르당레 나랑 그 셈데 득부레 나랑 그 셈데 ngan송라 팽거레 나랑 그 셈데 득부 딱딱 마톤 디나라 지경 민두 나랑 그 셈데 나랑라 되니 쭈부 되니 용 쭈부 되니 머심 마키바 되니 셰근데 나랑 그 셈데 눈시그레데 나랑 그 셈데 심트레데 삼니 되니 삼고요레 따따가초.
And so it is like us in our current state. We believe that our minds are plagued by afflictions. We feel that our minds are full of desire, of miserableness, of anger, of hatred. We feel that we are completely bad, that we're unhappy. We feel pressured. We feel anxious.
디 값에 되니 가서 셈데 되니지 말에 가서 셈데 대식 영보래 가정 저 셈데 되니 상기 이시래잖아 되니 가서 이치도 그 말이지 가서 셈데 간디고니 상기 이시 나랑 그 셈나라 제당께근도와 나랑 되니 공초께근도와 나랑 도착께근도와 상기 이시라 공초 가리요 그래 가요 그래 요쪽 말에 되니 삼거래.
And if in this state people are to tell us, no, your mind is really in its basic essence Buddha nature, then this would be something we'd find difficult to accept. How could it be that our minds are really in their ultimate essence Buddha nature, or the wisdom of the Buddha? What we feel is anger or hatred or desire.
어때니 가서 금잡니 갈래 금잡이네 금나더니 가서 름기 하고 온 거래 름기 가서 셈티 ngote dupoz maim batang teni ngote teni dershang boyem ba kali nyamnyung ko teni koyong gore di kapse teni ngaso ngaso semte teni dupoz maim zin do shakt maim zin de kharang ko namban rawo teni yem ma yin zin ma to ba ngote te maim samba teni ichi de tobong gore.
But by practicing meditation, it is possible for us to step by step gradually recognize that in actual fact the essence of our mind really is Buddha nature, or the wisdom of a Buddha. And this is something that we are able to gain direct experience of, and discover that in fact our various afflictions, our desire, our hatred, our anger, etc. are only but appearances of our mind, or in our mind, and that our mind's basic essence in fact is Buddha nature. And through gaining experiential understanding of this, our conviction will grow.
심티 약보즈더니 하고요 말에 가주 원이 전입시는 가주 참마고 수소랑 그 심티 간디지긴 시기요 말에 그런 거뭐 차버도 그런 거땅 잡사디 간디지긴더니 자완이 시기요 말에 대 마시 비김선기 더니 뇽몽바망보 셈가나라 용거요래.
Really, most of us don't have a very good understanding of our minds at all, and particularly the most deep and profound level of our minds is something that we don't understand, and it's on account of a lack of understanding that we give rise to so many afflicted mental states.
람타랑보 드니 치메사가 사차 드니즈란 로고나 드니 람타랑보 페나 산인 라보즈라 코라니 치메사가 드니 시마가 탕 드니즈란 로고나 드니 코라니 람카네 드니 캬바가 릉고 드니 쳔보즈라 특소나 드니 머스치포티 디 캬바임바 하고 그래 대식포티 온디나란데 따따따난데 치르문도 따이나 디나라 치요레 데나 나랑 그 캬바데 키르닌 로고 캬바데 케르나 teni samni ngala chen hong ji yore samni masjid di kyakpa yamba gongken di teni kyakpa di kerni ore teni chikpo di mashi bare chikpo di kyakpa mari do re samni yana shir rabo di re samni ondan de doz rendu samni te sam gare ti samna oda do kerni pandok ji yamar samni teni kobara yuja gare.
So we could say it's like two people who, the day after the next, are heading towards a far-off place in the desert where there is no water whatsoever. En route, these two people pass an ice mountain, just like the one that we described before. One of the two people knows that the mountain is made of ice, in fact, and that in carrying some ice with them, they will have water to drink when they reach the desert. The other person, however, doesn't know this. They don't know that the mountain is made of ice. They think that it is made of stone or glass, and thinking that there's no point in carrying stones with them on the road, they pass up the opportunity.
Then kyakpa yimba gongkente koran kyakpa keriyore koran chen hongju yore then kyakpa yimba ma gongkente la chen hongju yo marete te dang da bore.
So in the days that pass, as they head to the desert where there's no water to drink, the person who has taken the ice has enough to quench his thirst with, whereas the person who didn't take or passed up the opportunity to take some ice is without anything to drink. And it's just like this.
Teni dan kyakpa teni da korang kyakpa teni chid girni teni chidin thong gona teni jotsat gore teni jotsat yona teni kyakpa mara jini chirin gore teni na teni ngacho tartan kyakpa ngacho la yore si tartan ngacho simde kyakpa ro bore ta ngacho teni kyakpa de par chi ngor gir gona teni ngacho sim gona go jotsat jimto la tong gore ti tamshi ti da ngacho tarta gore.
So in order to transform ice to a liquid form, to water, so that we can drink it, it's necessary that we have temperature, warmth, in order to melt the ice into water. So we can say that at the moment our minds are just like ice. And to transform them into a water state, it's necessary that we also have warmth, that we have some way to increase the temperature. And it's in respect of this that we, at this present moment, need a method. So really what we need right now is warmth.
Ni yana pe na ngacho tini namka la chimba mambo cherne namka ngumbo mare samkang mate la namka ngumbo re di chimba ga thola namka ngumbo re zena de kaps khora ye machina tani ngacho ta namka chimba mambo ti thola sone tani ta go re tani namjung na lan to ni ta na ta kona lam sum thong gore ta ngacho tarta goya ti ngacho namjung na la tini tan dik ban ra o te go yo re.
Or you could say that if in the situation of a person who's never seen the blue sky before and looking at the sky from underneath the clouds doesn't believe that it is blue above, one thing they could do is go in an aeroplane to above the clouds, and then they would see for themselves that the sky was blue. So you could say that what we need right now is warmth, or otherwise an airplane to take us above the clouds.
Oya ta namtru kawa yore gangri teni jotsati teni ta kawa yore ta jotsati gangri zina teni tera ngachu shaki de jotsati namjre.
So what is this warmth that we need, or what is the airplane that we need that is going to take us there? So today what we're going to be talking about in our teachings are these two things, warmth and airplanes.
Tela banga kanatun bi wangi yendes ndartar chu thamchi ki sawa sim rangla thigbe rangsim gi natzalna sim gi khsang shini chu thamchi lam khesham dagmi pi to bar gerbis ta ngarang chu teni chu zina teni shusola yopi ngaso tartam mukum thongyada nawa koada teni norna wangbo gornga nala teni ngaso nyamsim yonganda so sama teni zawadi korang sir dirna the kangla thigore zena tini simla thigore ndo so sama sim go chumchur rabores.
So all phenomena that we perceive, whether it be that which we perceive with our eyes or our ears or any of the other of our five senses, the very root of all this, all phenomena, is in fact our mind, and all of these other phenomena that we perceive are but appearances of the mind.
Teni chumchar zina kandi zina teni mungchar tong ke moshus. Teni mungchar tong kan sogo teni pena khangba mesala khangba da teni shang mesala shang metok mesala metok teni mambo khosogo teni ngasola teni thongwa teni she gerezi mungchar yakpo teni station kan to sogo yena teni mepa thamcho bo yoban rawo da yoba thamcho bo mepa teni shini ngasogo mukti teni chhnrowa khosogo teni she thap gere teni pena mungchar teni tong kan teni zaka teni ngaso sacha tongba zaka nangla pena metok ko langada teni chida teni khangba 대소 망보즈 되니 코랑 그 뭉쳐 되니 또요나 되니 디 값스 되니 메독 ngo마요 말이 치양 ngo마요 말이 된다 보즈 그더니 도수 상마요 말다 옛나 되니 뭉쳐 동컨데 코랑 그 니발라 되니 되니 뭉쳐데 나주 뭉낭라 되니 나와레지 디 값스 페나 랑가다 치다 메독다 되니 캉바다 대소데 시디니 시바레제나 되니 디 뭉쳐 동컨 그 뭐디 되니 좀쳐레제 고레지.
So in terms of magical apparitions or magical displays, we need a magician to conjure these things, and magicians with very good skills are able to create the appearance of buildings in places where there are none, of trees in places where there are none, of flowers in places that there are none. That is, they're able to conjure appearances of things when there aren't any, or conjure the appearances of no things when there are things. They are, through their magical skills, able to trick our eyes. So even though they are able to, through their skills in magic, they're able to create the appearance of flowers and water and other things in empty spaces, these flowers and other apparitions that we see are not real. It is through the power, the efficacy of the magician that these appearances are manifested, and we believe them to be real. So in terms of the various phenomena that we see, these appearances, in order for them to be there, we need to have a magician who is behind their conjuring.
딘디인디 가서 슈소라요 비더니 무금 통화 나와 투바 더니 나가 초라 리포 락바 지금 용화 디소 탐치도 강레지나 더니 가서 셈거 디니 나니 파르디니 슈로라 샤르위 디니 즈년 셈거 주년 토인
So all of these sights that we behold with our eyes, and the things we hear with our ears, the sensations of our bodies, the tastes that our tongue perceives, all of these things are but projections or appearances made by our minds.
양나가 좁배나 잠추 톡다 양나더니 심마가 탕라더니 남칼라따나 teni namkala teni khangbada teni namkala langkhorda teni namkala me mamboda tso teni ta thongji yore zhi zhongqir jin thongre yinna teni mus jamcho teni tangla teni yore jin yo mari na de shima thangla teni namkala teni yore jin yo mari mena teni te korang teni ta khaw ko nangla nyima go wazir gyamni teni nyimi wazir ko dongcho go top ko teni namkala teni to zhongqir tang langkhorda teni moda tso teni nangywa teni zre.
So sometimes when we are near the ocean or we are in a desert, it is possible for mirages to be seen, including mirage-like cities on the horizon. And these mirage-like cities may be made up of buildings and people and other things that look very, very real, but in actual fact they don't truly exist in the desert or near the ocean. They are an appearance, a display that is produced by an interaction with light, sunlight, and the atmosphere, and it is this interaction that produces these mirage-like appearances.
어때니 대당 잡고래 가서 되는 잠볼랑도 되는 가서 수수 삼로 마땅나 배난 잠볼랑다는 되는 저 뎀바리 상마되니 뎀바당 되니 상마되 가서 온 소화가 나라이나 가서라 판바신킨 노바신킨 되니 되니 뎀방 우만 잡고되니 레지 옛날 다른 가서 집그 고니 되니 점무 고니 딱시시나 되니 되니 말에 되 딱시시나 저 상마 즈민 잡고 창도래.
And it's the same actually in our real lives, in the real world. That is, we take everything around us to be truly existent, to be real. People who are good to us, people that are harming us, things that are good, things that are bad. We regard these as all as if they truly existed. However, if we investigate these phenomena in a detailed manner, we discover that they too are simply projections or appearances.
양나 베르나테니 찜칠 것더니 면치가 드름 거나나 정시 드름 거나라 되니 라코르타식 영 라코르타식 디마토 앙그 안장니 디마토 바요 마레스 찜칠 거랑가 나라 옛날 아주 먹었다요나 되니 야자 먹었다나 야 되니 가동난 거래 증난 거래 나와냐나 되니 야자 난 거래 이게 난 거래 미즈민 난 거래 잠만자 나 쪽만난 거래 레데나 짐틀 거나라 미즈민 요 말에 잠민 요 말에 라코르탕 찍 딘디타다 마토 요 말에 티창마가 하고 그래.
We could use the metaphor of a computer operating system. In fact, the computer language is only made up of 0, 1, 0, 1, and despite the fact that the programming is only is made up of only these two binaries, in fact, we see with our eyes all manner of sounds that are produced by the computer. We see colors on the screen, we see forms, we see text, we see images. But in actual fact, none of these things really exist. The only thing that lies behind all of this is 0, 1, 0, 1. This is something, no doubt, that everyone knows.
다 던지가 나와 나 쪽바드서 가서 고속 강라 등등지 가서 너희 망보 좀 통야디 짜와디 강라 등등지나 베나 되니 뭉틀동 그 먹었더니 거랑가 랑가다 되니 치다 되니 망보즈 렌드게 더서 짜왔더니 되니 뭉틀동 그 먹 거랑가 락시데라 되니 더여래.
So what is the root or the origin of all of these appearances or all of these phenomena that we see? The different appearances that the magician conjures, etc. What is the origin or what is the root of all of this? Ultimately, it is the skill of the magician in conjuring these appearances.
되니 남칼라 나위 되니 저지 종철지 되니 종철 나와 디디니 짜와도 강라 등등지나 대 식디니 과우당 니 되니 니마가 워당 숨티 되니 양랑보 랑보즈라 되니 가서 남칼라 나요 되니 종철지 요레데 대 코로 남칼라 나요레 되니 디 짜와도 데라 트요레
디 숨바디 치레 캄보라
somebody pena haishan lu sha ko no ngai haishan lu cha na pena
kabuk teni nimaka wot teni
nimaka wot ta teni pena namkala ti tongchir na ona ti tongchir da jangrambo na yo pi tongchir zimyin dan na nang yore jangrambo zna tongchir ngoma yore te dang da bo yore te sim de korang cha wa re.
So it's the same with a mirage-like city that appears on the horizon. In order for this mirage to be produced, we need the air, the atmosphere, the sunlight, and the beholder from a far-off position.
어떠니 심틀 그나라 가서 zimyin mambo다 자 mambo다 텐디 예게다 텐디 텐디 자버다 텐디 mambo지요 파티 짜와디 강라 팅드지나는 텐디 라고르당 칙 지지텔라 트겨레.
And the origin of the pictures and sounds and text and everything else that is produced on our computer screen, what lies behind this is 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1.
어떠니 가서 단디 가서 나와 묶음 통하다 나와 투아 가서 되니 왕보 고르가 같으니 냠수용 인직된 더 강라 트거르전데 짜와 가서 셈라 트거레.
And in terms of the origin of the phenomenal world that our senses perceive, the origin or the root of all this is our mind.
Teni tela jimtsen mangbu shaji yore, teni nga tso teni jimtsen kashi zina tsangri kayang teni denghong shi tab gore, teni kashi zina nga tso nyamnyung gugoni shi gore, ta ina teni ta tera nga tso yang jimtsen mangbu shapi teni titsu yaw marez.
So there are many explanations as to how this is the case. There are scientific explanations, there are experiential or phenomenological explanations, but we don't really have too much time today to go into much of this.
Teni kantar nga tso shiro kana ando tamcha nga tso sim la thyo re, riti ina te nga tso nafshoko teni simtsu teni nawa tawa te rezina te mare te kakarez.
So in saying that the outer or the external phenomena that we perceive is but an appearance of our mind, this view, however, is not the same as an idealistic or an idealist view in Western philosophy.
Tati indi nga tso zambalang te la teni jirchu jab gona, teni tso sim la jirchu jab jagna teni rinjigyo re, te nga tso chirizina zambalang ka nawa tso tamchipo nga tso sim ka nani par yung yo re, tifshirina teni sim la njirwa jabna teni taga zambalang ka nawa tso la teni njirwa mambo rimji yung re.
So in order to change the world, it's necessary for us to change our minds. And the reason for this is that if the external world does originate from our minds, then by making changes at the level of our mind, gradually, the external world will be changed too.
The rikshit mambo to te stodangi manga tarte nazi. Ta nga tso terang di kapsa nyamsa lenser te rikpa teni xiapa mambo tani teni rishi ligzi mareze teni nde nga tso nyamnyung go toni teni simla tatsir teni rizi gola shakare.
So for this, discard the numerous methods of conceptual analysis and rely on the pith instructions. This verse is referring to the fact that the meditation method that we are learning about today is not one that requires conceptual analysis and investigation and so on. It is a practice or a method for experiential understanding.
Kanang de shokti rang simla tipi tse jiang mumcho wrndna nipa jibsha nam to na so pam chona ngewa jibsha oya tani ta nga so simla tani tawi ne kam nazi shirta nga so tani simla tar to mashini pe na leka mambole samlo mambo tang dang mambo jav tani jira mambo kum tani shepi kapsu tani nga so tani simti kanriz re mare te tsawa ni dang jab ko yo mare tani khayang ko mare nga so simti pesho tangni tani khorang sholo la tani samlo mambo tang leka mambo le ni tani shegor inna tani pesho tanga tila samlo tanga yo mare pena nga so tani nyog yikip chna nga so yikiti tani yakpo yong da mayo te samlo tanga yo ma to ba nyog tila samlo tanga yo mare zi yikip tribi kaps nga so yikilan tang jab kore ma to nyog lan tang jab ko mare tin ra pore nga so namjin simti pe na nyog ra pore nga so simlan tang jab ko yo mare teni yikin raboto shurur ko teni ngupote sore shurur ko ngupolan dang jab ko mato teni simlan dang jab ko mare di kaps te nga su simte kanri zin hako yo mare.
In terms of observing our mind, usually we are not doing this when we are focused on our external lives, work, thinking, we're busy, we're preoccupied, or we're occupied with a lot of activity. In this situation, we're not thinking about what the mind is, we're rather using it to do work in the external world. And we can liken this to using a pen. When we're using a pen to write words, we're really focusing on the writing of words and we're not contemplating the pen itself. And so we can say that it's like this when we're busy with our activities, we are really focusing, using our mind to achieve these activities. We're focusing on the writing of letters. We are not focused on the nature of the pen itself or the nature of our minds. And so for this reason, we don't have a good understanding or realization of our minds.
Teni nima chigla nga tsu yeke mambo chini teni yeke njoksum teni vjerne yeke chwa ten tsam vjerne teni nga tsu nyugla jimjuk shipa teni tengo tsuk bare.
However, if on one day we finish with our writing of words and we lay down our pen, or we then pick it up and begin to examine it, then our investigation of the pen begins from this day.
Teni nga tsu samna kemsar teni nyugan teni chongchong teni zganala ngay nima mambu yeke chunayang te zaya chikyang mandu teni nangla teni rinrambu chichokandu. Teni nga ranga nyugan di shogo tokla chuna nak teni nangli naksa te mar yungandu. Mab chuna teni shi vyavzhagna naksa yungan mandu. Te kemsar kanti yana samne teni koranga nyugala jimjik shepa teni ngotsuk songzi.
And then at this one day, on this day that we decide to begin to research the pen, we will pick it up with an attitude of wonder, and we will think, how strange it is that this instrument that I have been using to write letters with every single day in an endless flow is like it is. When I press it to paper, ink flows forth. However, when I lie it down, no ink comes out. What a strange thing this pen is. And this is how we will think when we start to research it.
Oda te tangrapo shini teni nga tsu ta nima chigla nga tsu simla jimjuk shiki teni ngotsikni. Oda namgini na nga tsu sim korang peshut tangni lekan ramara mambo leni nyog tabu shikyo. Ta nga rang tsu teni ta sim te la teni jimjuk shiki ngotsikni. Ta nga tsu sim te kanti zing ta gundu samni nima chigla teni sim korang la nga tsu jimjuk shiki tang sim korang la teni takship shiki teni te ngotsik pare.
And it will be just like this on the day that we decide to really start to research our minds. These minds that up until this point we've really used in order to do work in the external world. When we begin to look into them, then our examination or investigation of them will begin.
Teni semla jimjuk ta kandi chego orzena teni charig pag teni lapala teni tela semla jimjuk teni mamboz teni shibare.
So how do we go about investigating or examining these minds of ours? Well, scientists themselves have many ways of investigating the mind by looking at the processes of the brain.
Dijita inna tega di korang ke sem ko ngomate ha ko thap ko ya mari ngasu sem ko nala nam tong dam mambo kina tani labang nala ngerwan ro tin gerwa ti shi yo re ma to ba sem korang ngoma thaka thakar teni ngasu chucha kang ge na ta thap ko ya mari.
However, by using these methods, it's not possible to discover the essence of the mind. Through examining the mind using various machines, it's possible to register changes in brain processes that take place as a result of changes in the mind. However, using this approach that relies on the external investigation of the mind using machines and technology, it's not possible to discover the mind's essence.
Tang ngotso simla thakar tani pe na ngupundala dorjindala tini muk thakar ta ndi parla tini ngupo jang kangyang parmachu par thakar ta tawan rawoti tindi goni saros ta gona ngotso simtela sizg ta gore muk ta gore ta nawa ta gore ta yana lagpa rak gore kandi gore zina tes chikyang thap ko mare sim khorang ta gore.
So it's just like if we wanted to look at this dorji directly with nothing coming in between us and it, nothing to obscure it. In this situation, what would it be that needs to observe the dorji? Would it be our eyes or our ears or our hands? What would ultimately be that which observes it? Well, none of these things are necessary. It's simply a matter of the mind observing itself.
Ota tindi yendi ngaso mug lipun di nala yopi tini ngaso tini wangbon deso nala simla ta tongkhen simla tini ta tongkhen de sim khorang ma to jamba chikyang yo mare. Ngaso li ga wangbo zena mug wangbo na wangbo la sa ba deso nala teni sim te la thakar korang ta tini ta tongkhen de serezi ta thumkhen de serezi na sim khorang re 코랑 찍고 마도 잠바치 영요 말에 잠바치 그 따뜻 그 말에.
So in terms of the different sense consciousnesses, our different sense consciousnesses, or in terms of the mind itself and the mind consciousness, there is in fact no other thing or no other one besides the mind itself that is able to observe these things.
따뜻히 인디 배나가 좀 묵잡고 가랑 좀 묵잡고 있나는 뒤에 코랑 것들이 실라 따뜻 그래 실라 참아 코랑 거 시그레 마도 봐 코랑 결록 잡네 되니 묵 나라 따뜻 그 말에서 묵잡고 있나 코랑 거 난간디요 코랑 거 따뜻 그 말에 시다다다고 그래서 묵잡고 있나.
So if we take the example of our eyes, they are possible of looking outwards into the external world and perceiving phenomena in the external world. However, it's not possible for our eyes to turn inwards on themselves and see into their internal structure.
되니 샘 틴디 저래지나 샘 틴디 말해지 되니 샘그 코랑 거 실라양 따뜻 그래 양 코랑 거 나라양 따뜻 그래.
However, our minds are not like this. Our minds are not like our eyes. Our minds have the ability to both look outwards and look inwards.
어때니 다 가서 어때니 샘라 따고나 되니 가서 디 리본디 토라 코랑 마토 바잔 따듬 건식 염문도 되니 다 코랑 따집고 그래. 코랑 거 따위니 급간디 따고 그러잖아. 다가 연청 가서 파르코르니 셜로라 따오래. 다 서코르니 되니 코랑 따고 그래.
So in terms of looking into our own minds, there is no one or nothing else within our own bodies that is able to do this other than our minds. So just as these minds of ours have been able to look outwards, we need to turn the mind inward in order to look at itself.
다 때페잖아 가서 강반디나리 말은 로니 셜로라 토니 되니 고야르전에 남칼라 따나 아니 마통 통지요 말이지 양나 남칼라 점바용 근데 양나 남카 점바면이 홍보용 근 대니 마통 방아 졸람 통지 통야 스마즈요 말이지.
So if we were to leave this building right now and go outside and lie on the ground and look at the sky, there are only two possible things that we could see. Either we would see the blue sky or we would see clouds. Aside from these two things, there is nothing else we'd see. And also, when we turn the mind inwards, there are only two possible things that we will discover.
Tani namtok chigyang me patini tangmu goni deyo yore te na ngaso kharsang kona shapi kharsang ngaso nyimak chigla shapi tani lakur ko tani namba tere ti thokla lopo shini ti namtok machini dayu pi ne kawre tes chigre.
So the first possible state that we can discover when our minds turn inwards to observe themselves is a state of stillness, like we described yesterday. A pond when there is no wind, a pond whose face is completely still. This is a state of no thought, a state of resting at point zero. This is the first of the two possible states that we can discover when we turn inward to have our mind observe itself. And this particular state is what we refer to as stillness.
Yana ngatu semga nala tawi ne kamna teni tendi zangwa tat zangwa long me pata maimba teni nam tok mambo semga nala kene teni nam tok chikjila te nama na zoba yang teni yang tayan debala samlo ta yang maung bala samlo ta kor hale ba nyokja teni gorum yo mare du ti thola teni ngapshi go ramba yo mare jiji yo mare chad yo mare teni nyokja teni nam tok mambo ke yore teni ti.
So aside from this first state of stillness or resting, the second possible state that we can discover is one where our minds are giving rise to thought activity. a great deal of thought activity, possibly thoughts of all kinds constantly streaming up from our minds, thoughts about the past, thoughts about the future, thoughts that have no order, that chaotic, that come in all shapes and sizes. And this kind of state is what we refer to as movement. So aside from these two states, there is no other state that we can discover our mind in. So when we lie down and look up at the sky and see it as a blue expanse, then this is the same as discovering our mind in a resting state or in a state of stillness. And if we look at the sky and see it obscured by all kinds of cloud formations, then this is the same as discovering our mind in a state of movement. In addition to these two states, there is also a third possibility, and that is one of awareness or experiential awareness of the state that our mind is in. So this is an awareness of whether our minds are in movement, experiencing movement, or whether our minds are resting. The experiencer, or that which is aware, or the awareness of this state, is also a third possibility. And this is what we are the same as what we were speaking about in yesterday's teaching.
njokbado tindina penam njokbada da ngama murgte soyina koso takbar namkala tagre namkala tani ta nima khashiga nala nam bafsare ta bafsa mare yana teni namshi yakbo yongsare ta mare je koso teni namngo la mambo tagre je te ngama mo soyina.
So people in bygone times, such as nomads, etc., quite often look to the sky in order to determine how the weather would be in over the coming days. That is, they would look at the sky in order to see whether rain was coming or whether good weather was coming.
Teni tartaina ngachu khimnala khangbaanala deni lekamambolini khummukumshini teni khabargungola tani ongachu namshi kandra yensari maungbi zangkurchikanala namshi kandri yongsare charwat babsa are khang babsa are teni namshi go totang kaji wasare te ngachu namngula yarta mare khabargungola marta gre.
These days, however, we spend most of our time indoors working away at our busy tasks, and when we want to know what the weather is going to be, we turn to our cell phones and they tell us what the weather is going to be like in the coming week, whether there'll be rain or snow or how hot it will be. We no longer go out and look to the sky to discover these things.
Teni yendi teni namshi ge teni jowa ta jangwa sum chunshi ge angjang de chuma toba namkang umatin thongi bayo mare mimangbo ta mare.
So aside from what they see in their mobile phones, numbers that represent what the temperature it will be and words that represent what the warmth or coldness will be, nobody turns to the sky anymore to discover these things.
Tani ta nga su di kaps gom japine kamna pe na ngama go mutso raposhini teni jangala ta ma imba namka khorang la tha kar ta o tindin raposhini teni nga su semla ta yundi o teni ta sem tendri negendu ta sem tendrim chondu samba khorang ngoma tin thongoreze nga su jangaz la ta mare namka muk ngumbo khorang la ngus ta wan rawo yana 남칼라 쩐요나더니 차르밥고요나 차와데 우스드니 가서 밥고요바 묶음 통한다고 든리시니 다네나네요 바더니 초남 초고요 바데 따그래.
So in meditation, we are like people in the past who have looked to the sky to discover the weather. In looking at our minds, in observing our minds, we are aware of whether they are giving rise to thought movement, whether they are in a state of movement, or whether they are in a state of stillness, whether they are resting. And in so doing, we are like people who look to the sky to know what the weather is going to be. That is, people who don't rely on numbers and information to tell them. Rather, people who look to the state of the sky and the state of the clouds to know how the weather will be. And by observing our minds, observing when they're resting, observing if they're moving, then we are acting in a similar way.
Dani ngama mote soina koso sama tini rangshung kamda korigla chargi hali ba chimbo yore mususu shigri namkala tani dani long diablugta chimba tini rolugta tesola tani dani namshi yapo yong sare mare dani namshi jangmo yin sare ta jombo yong sare dani me mambo dani ngama mote so koso hago re.
So people in earlier times, they really had an very intimate familiarity with the natural environment. They were able to understand the wind and the formation of clouds, and by being able to read these signs in nature, know whether the weather would be good or warm or however it would be.
Deni tartang deni mutaso ngaso kabra tola taje de mauto bazyan chi namshi ge deni chilli banda mauto bazyan ba so namshi la chi chagiyo mare zawane shi mare.
However, people these days, aside from knowing to look at their mobile phones, have got no understanding of how the weather operates at all. With the exception of expert or professional meteorologists, the average person has got no understanding of the weather really.
Deni deimbi jimsenji ngaso rangshung kamda katak jetak jerang royore rangshung kamla ngaso chargi jeme royore.
And so, for this reason, we become ever more estranged and ever more distant from the natural environment, and our familiarity of it becomes less and less.
Deni gum jamni ngaso takar deni gum jamni ngaso simla tatum kentechu pena deni ngama mandra boshini de koranga simde ngoma ndire samne koranga takar nyamsunywa goni shinken munji manamji namshila tawanda deni takar koso tagre.
So those practitioners who directly observe their minds in meditation and directly observe the state that their minds are in are just like these people in the past who looked at the sky in order to know the weather.
Deni gum magimni ngaso deni ripi zonglik chikpo zika thone ngaso sim tere zipa deni razina deni ngaso tarta pena namshila kapar kongola tawanda bores ripi zonglik changbayna.
If we simply rely on conceptual analysis and theoretical investigation in order to assess or understand the way that our minds are, then this is the same as someone who simply knows how to look at their mobile phone in order to understand the weather.
Dendri indi tari ngaso ndi kapsa deni patakar tani deni ngaso sim chona tan tendim chowundu chowazeya den dendri zere korang tendim chowundu di jila dendri yungundu sambawo nyamnyungu goni yaboshi gore.
So in this meditation, we directly look at our minds, we directly observe them. We see if they are in a state of movement, and if they are, how they are moving, and what happens after a thought arises. We directly observe the way that they are like this.
Ani payen na teni ni pikapsi na tang ne semde teni tata namtong cho mundu ne parin de teni ne pa ze yatin de rizela ze de ne pa ten de rizre sambao korang takar teni ne pa de nyamsum yong tabgo yore denji ge teni chonam chowa nyamsum yong wa dang ne na ne pa nyamsum yong wa tela teni kari ze gre tela rikpa ze gre.
So by directly observing the mind, observing it in a state of rest, that is observing that it is currently not in a state of giving rise to thought, directly observing what this state of resting is like, to directly experience it in this way, or whatever state is it in, to directly experience our minds, whether they are moving or resting. This direct experience or direct observation is what we refer to as awareness.
Teni rikpaziandi ngaso tarikona shapatere rikpi zonglu kone ngaso takshit jabne o semte yanam chogo gore yana nego tendis mareze rikpa takshit jabaz mare yang ngaso namtok ko teni namtok ko samne samlu tane nge sem chogondu tendi chogondu o yana nge semte nindu tendi shine nendu samba teni tendu mareze karsang ngaso kona shapi nyamnyung go goni karsang ngaso kona jamba dang shujin go goni nyamnyung 장랑보니 따고를 셔요 어떤지 그더니 내나 드니 네파데 그런 거 냠스 용화당 다네 추남 추와데 냠스 용고래 마토 바더니 삼루 땅에 초건도 내건도 든지 말해.
So this awareness is not one that entails us conceptually investigating or conceptually examining the state that our mind is in. Or discursively asking questions about the state that our mind is in. It is a direct experience of our mind, similar to what we were talking about yesterday in terms of mindfulness and awareness. These entail a watching of the mind from afar. So if the mind is resting, or whether it is resting or whether it is in a state of movement, the direct experiencing our direct experiential understanding of the state that the mind is in is what we mean by awareness.
Teni namgin teni targo 그래서 ngaso namgin 냠림 시피니 금나 단데라 gum 잡제 거래 gum 되나 간디리지나 teni 거랑 셈그 셈라 따니 다셈 초요나 dim 초와데 하고 난 저거요래 마토 바오 담 초운등 저금등 나랑 인담담 초와데 말 맘초와 시고 삼바들이 고 말에 고람 초남 초와데 하고 그래 딜레 장고 말에.
So in our frequent practice of this meditation, when we bring our minds to observe themselves, it's sufficient if our minds simply observe, are simply aware, they're knowing of the state that they are in. So if our minds are giving rise to thought movement, it is sufficient for our minds to simply be aware of aware that this is the state the mind is in. There is no need to think that, oh, here my mind is giving rise to movement, I should stop this, I should change this state. This is not what we mean at all. It's simply a state of knowing or being aware of the mind state.
Teni semte neona teni nepate ota nena nepate hakona teni dikre kosogo ramjin teni ramjin tela girju gyab go mareze girju chini girju gyab morgoze nini kosu teni ramjin tela teni tektok she morgo gansho tektok she morgoze teni koran kandi yena yembate hakoni 티 냠스뇽 고거래 마토바 가서 너 네요나 다테 코란 닌드 테 르크먼도 코란 초고근도 삼반다오다 초요나 초근도 단르크먼도 코란 네 고근도 삼바 딘디 고고 말에 강이나 테 하고나 덴드거래 데라 르파제 그래.
And it's the same with resting too. It's our minds simply observe the natural state or the state that our mind is in, and if it's in a state of resting, then we simply are aware of this. There is no need for us to change the state that we find our mind in or to interfere with its state in any way. Simply to experience and be aware that the mind of the state that the mind is in is what we are aiming for. So finding the mind in a state of rest, thinking that we should make it move, or discovering it in a state of movement, thinking that we should bring it to a state of rest, this is really not what we are doing. Whatever state the mind observes itself in, simply to rest in this awareness is what we refer to here as awareness or rikpa.
Tenim chowi kaps kandi hako go zena pe jana nga chon den di gum jam ni de yo pi ne kum ne ti khamba go na ni yar teni zge lao shu o zge z yar thong yo ne teni di na la ko yar ro ma ro teni pan ro son ro ma bo zu shi de na teni nga cho mu ge ring de ge yo de khorang paran ro won de san ro won de samba de ri ge yenna teni te khorang jo paran ma ro chen ro go ze chen ma ro yo na ma ro go teni nga so te khola girju gyapti zge teni sholum te la girju gyapa ta thesok she ba da de chang go ma khorang paran ro na ro san ro na ro kang tar nga rang so gom jamni teni tam muk teni khorang paran ro wa san ro wa tim thong de ge yo re yenna paran ro ma chok san ro go paran ro na dig bo re chari na yak bo ten ri sam lo chi yo ma re te khorang thong de na de ge re pe tin da bo go re.
The state of being aware of the mind in a state of movement is similar to sitting in a room with the door open, looking ahead and noticing a mouse sneak in the door and dart across the front of the room and then dart across backwards in the same direction. In this situation, our eyes are observing the mouse, we see its movement back and forth. However, we don't seek to change what it is doing or to interfere in its path whatsoever. So although our eyes are seeing the mouse, we're aware that it is moving back and forth. We're not thinking, oh, it should go that way instead of this way. It should go this way instead of that way. Or going this way is not good. It's bad if it does this. We don't have any thoughts like this at all. We're simply aware that the mouse has come in, that it is moving back and forth. And yes.
Teni yang atso gom japi ne kamna teni nipi ne kamna teni ta nipi ne kamna teni ta kandizer zina teni yang zge chong chong de ko pan ro chon ro shi ni yang parjik chjik shi ni yang tingon de la yong ne teni ko ra chik yang mung ni din de na te nga so ko ra teni ndung du samba de shi na de yo re ma to de kyon dung yang ga ma re dan ro go re zana yang na dan ro nyang ga ma re dan de go re teni girju jab go mare te korang ding de na on ding du samban da wo teni mukum thong du pa ten ri yo re ma to ba kyorang ding na yak bo re kyorang do na yak bo ten ri sam go mare pe ten da bo re ni pi kap se yang ten da bo ne pa te sinan de go re.
And in observing the mind in a resting state, this is like sitting in the room and watching the mouse that has been scurrying back and forth finally come to a stop and sit perfectly still in the middle of the room. And in this situation, we are just simply aware that the mouse is now resting, that it is still. We don't seek to change it or transform what's happening. We don't seek to make it move or otherwise change what is taking place. We're simply aware that it is now resting.
Teni ndi thola khasang asang kong la teni gom japi ne kapna jani gom bi ne kapna thapsi mantra wa ge teni sheyo teni gbo de ndi thola chama pesho tang chokore.
So yesterday in our teaching on Shamatha meditation, we mentioned the 9 methods for bringing the mind to rest, and it's possible to, or in this meditation that we're talking about, all of these 9 methods can be used.
Oya teni tal
the tapgubo la peshishtang yore tapgubo nang la katong
tapgubo chaman di thola pesho tang na chokore.
Oh, that's it.
Oya tatze sa so oya teni ta nga so te gum jablik te teni zire teni shini gum jab de na te la guba kari ore zena teni nga so teni namjin teni sem kana la teni ta chi gawa yana teni sem kana la kyowa da yana khongcho da teni mambo teni khong yar yong teni yang mar teni sem kana la teni thum teni mambo she dewa de teni nga so partamo ta de na rig de gre teni rig de ti teni jima nga so nyamnyong kang thawong gore jena ota ngarang ka sem gana re ngarang ka sem digna re chama khorang sem kana ni yar yong ne teni yang mar sem kana la teni yang mar thum ro ndu khorang penam jamsogonani barlb yariyone yang jamsogonala martin thumdongwa jamsogonani yariyone barlb hale pa chimbo tinti yone mmombo khang chak mombo ndone yang khona mar chinangla thumdongwa chinangla thumsardi yang cheri sari te chi jamba chimandu 땡자보다 데나 등나 나와 탐치 땡지즈렌드 삼발라 니시 할레바 약부터 그래지 연랑보 냠님시 탑나.
So what is the function or the use or the benefit of this kind of meditation? Usually our minds, feelings or emotions of pleasure or suffering, of anger, through meditating in this way, it's possible for us to observe their arising from our mind and then their, after rising up, their disappearance back into our minds. So this process of rising and disappearing, or rising and dissolving. This is something that through being aware of in our practice, in the future we can in the future we can bring to our understanding of how these appearances work in our mind. So just like a very big wave in the ocean, a huge wave that rises up several stories high, big enough to bigger than a large house. Even a wave this big ultimately crashes back down into the ocean. So observing the way that our minds work in this way in terms of thought activity and emotions, etc., it's possible for us over a extended or sustained period of practice to really generate a strong sense of confidence.
대스르 견듭장나 가드그 나와 나서 오랑심 레 샤르장 데니트 텀비오나티 랑기 시공 대시디 나와 탐시 셈기라는 동음 조공시 어따티 값을 때니 가서 나와 가보쇼나 말가와쇼나 참마 때리 강인나다 나랑 그셈 그때니 남길 잠들 렌드 마토 바잠바 지문도 삼바티 하고레.
So by practicing in this mind, then we will be able to know that all of the very appearances that arise in the mind are simply manifestations of the mind. This is something that we will be able to know.
와야 되니 가서 락링크 토란 소화가 나라더니 다 간디시고 그래 제나스.
So many people ask, so how do we go about actually applying this in our everyday lives?
되니 소화가 나라가 참마 무수술한 잡부 잔자리 참마 깝깝스 심 가위 깝시오레 되니 깝깝스 심 마르가위 깝다 물기피 깝다 되니 공초 침볼랑위 깝다 되니 노파 차보숑위 깝다 되저 되니 셈가 나란 게르와 나쪽바 용거요레 되니 가서 참마 찍바리.
So in terms of our lives, everyone is exactly the same. There are times when we feel happy, there are times when we feel unhappy, moments when we give rise to great anger or moments of extremely intense desire. Ultimately, changes of this kind, our mind changing all the time, is a situation that we all have in exactly the same way.
되니 가서 셈가 나라 마르키파 되니 쇼위 깝스 타페나 셈가 나라 공초라고 되니 쇼위 깝스 다 가서 남긴 가서 레칼레르티 간디즈레즈나 공초 쇼위 깝스 되니 양나 가서 공초티 춘준시 마트나 양나 가서 무잠발라 파르티니 시시 땅거레지 양나 다른 델리장 드보쇼나 되니 무잠발라 되니 갸브리고 그래.
So in a situation such as anger, usually when we feel very angry, our first response, if we're unable to control it, is to speak harshly, to scold the person in question, or if we are even in a more intense situation, we might reach out and physically strike the person.
되니 노파 차보쇼네 되니 시 값스 되니 양나 가서 끝이 그래 끝마죠. 양난 촉거래 되니 양나 흉모죠. 땡진자면도 망보시 그래.
로무겹스나? 로무겹?
로무 타오판.
Oh. In a situation where we are overcome by a very strong desire, then we might steal things or rob others or beg for things.
되니 양 심마키 바디니 쇼네 되니 다제 공초단 도파 마임바 되니 무잠바즈 그 소소치르 제나 되니 심마키 바디니 쇼이 값스 되니 간디셰가 제나 되니 가서 창망분 통거래 되니 두자거래 어야 Teni chang thongare, dog zagare, teni damra mambo shigare, yang zama mambo zagare, teni ngacho tendi shigare, namjin ngacho rolukti tendi re.
Or at times when we experience unhappiness, general unhappiness, then often we drink alcohol, we take drugs, or eat a lot of food.
Teni yang teso la teni yang ngacho sem kanala yang tili kyang maki panjongore.
However, by doing these things, our minds become even more unhappy than they were to start with.
Teni ta dugpo ujisi yang dugpo shong, dugpo ujisi yang ngamba shong ne, ngacho teni njik zok je mepa teni re ndonduz.
And in this way, one unhappiness follows the other, and our unhappiness really becomes an endless cycle.
Teni ta ngacho di gum nyamling shinkan zina kandi shi gogore zina, teni ngacho sem kanala maki padang, teni tendi shona sem kanala teni dungmer ta tendi shona ta changthong sa manroze. Teni tugda kalaza te mazaze zama mambo yang mazaze teni karishi gore zena ta mar ndugni gumte ze jab otomoto tar goes.
For practitioners of meditation, what should we do in a situation where we experience unhappiness and suffering? Obviously, we shouldn't turn to drink or drugs or eat an excessive amount of food. The best thing to do is to sit down in this moment in meditation.
Teni ti kapsa ngaso mar gum jabne soso rangla teni lipo la dagpo jabne ngaso yinda mandang gum jab go samne teni samna ti kapsa ngaso sem ko ngaso la gari zegrezena ni gum jab ko mun samne ni gum jab ko mun gum mujab ngarang ga yinda manda tela partini shi tango ngarang ga yinda manda tela jab go samne teni ngaso sem ko rangla te zegrez.
So if in this moment of unhappiness or suffering we decide that we want to act in our body's best interests and sit down in meditation, what is our mind likely to say to us? It is likely to say, I don't want to do this. I don't want to meditate.
Do
you think that this is how it often is?
Yeah. It is.
Everyone's like this, so am I. And this thought that arises in our mind telling us that we don't want to meditate is something that we need to fight against, we need to struggle with. And in terms of the victor in this struggle, it has to be ourselves.
Teni tami jar kata ngaso teni lenjana teni ko tang tangbo tang ba tang semba te sola korang ka teni zegreda kali teni korang ka te zeu mare tanglin chenro ore.
And in terms of this struggle against our mind, the first time, the second time, the third time, the mind will still continue to struggle will still continue to say that it doesn't want to meditate, but through continuing in our process of struggle, finally the mind will come to accept our preference.
Pena ngaso la kongcho langwi kapse teni shamdang nyangji gumna teni kongcho te mepa changro wa ngaso jimsung ko tone jupi jonglu ko tone shigyore teni shamdang nyangji te gangdi gum go ti gumsir te so tamche boya ngaso changma cha changzi shigyore reti ti kapse teni ngaso tsawani shamnyangji gum doku yo mar tengi gum gummen nga yindamda kongcho lang go samni teni samgyore.
So for example, when we experience anger, we know very well in theory that by doing compassion meditation at this moment will bring us benefit and will enable us to calm down our feelings of anger. Even though we know this in theory and we have a complete knowledge of how to go about practicing compassion meditation, nevertheless, when we feel this anger, our minds tell us, I don't want to practice this meditation, I don't want to practice compassion, I want to feel angry.
Teni korang ka topshik ti kapsa halipa ka topshik chembore ze korang halipa topshik chembore korang ka topshik ti pe nalangbo cheshi ka topshik na boyore ze ti kapsa.
And the power of our mind at this point, the power of our angry minds is extremely strong as an elephant.
Teni ngaso takar kola teni ta ya lanshina tabka mare ze ngaso top ti korang ka tawanin jan tabka mare korang halipa top chi boyore.
And when our minds are in this state of extreme strength or power, it's not possible for us to directly bring it under control.
덴디인데 가서 랑보치 딘디 쳔보즈 그때니 깨라 탁바 잡니 딘이 텐고나 사와네 가서 무스치근 텐탑고 말해.
And if we were to try to put a rope around the neck of the elephant and bring it under control, one person alone would not be able to achieve this.
드니 간디고 그러지나 나마 그때니 자거 금마다 소고더니 짝지니 짝근디 그그저 뜨거 랑보치가 나라 존인 존나 대가랑 조 칸양 그래.
So what do we need to do in this situation? Well, in ancient India, people would place a metal hook or ring in the nose or the trunk of the elephant, and only by using this were they able to pull it along.
덴디인디 과랑 좀 말랑 위네끔 나가서 갈래 티 짝지도 잠바당 시브진지 잠바 시브진 거 갈래 곰잡네 소나테니 과랑 거 도식디 제총 로운도.
So we can liken this iron ring that is placed in the trunk of the elephant to mindfulness and awareness, and this needs to be slowly inserted into the trunk of the elephant in a time when it is not angry.
야, 대인디 드니 다 마웅바나 가서 사마가 던디시 고제 가서 샘머키비네 급나 드니 창통산 조냥 그 말해진 코랑 로 인세 그랬다 이나 드니 조냥 그 말에 코랑란 탑수치고 그래 드니 더 양때 샘마키비네 급나 코랑 그 자마자고 코랑 자마만 뭐 포 또고요 말다 이나 코랑 그 자르고 제니 드니 제 그래 자마잡징냥 그 말에 양티니 코랑 샘마키메네 코랑 총칸가 나란 조니 잘랑만 보뇨고 코랑 그 제용 그래 이나 티네 급나 코랑란 탑수시니 티니 대서 창마 티니 시 직년 그 말에.
So in the future, everyone needs to do this themselves in times when we feel unhappy, and our minds tell us that they want to drink alcohol. We need to struggle against this. Or if we're feeling unhappy and our minds tell us that they want to eat a lot of food even though we're not hungry, then we should not accept this. Or similarly, if our minds tell us that they want to go shopping and buy a whole lot of things, then we should also not accept this.
야나 코랑 그 쪽보즈라 카버즈 땅네 되니 더 갑다주시고 삼용 거지 있나요? 쪽보 약보즈 마이나 쪽보 득보즈라 갑다시나요? 때 셈처데 지친도 그래.
Or in this situation, to call up a friend and to tell them all of one's woes. If the person you call up isn't a good friend, that it's possible that your woes will only increase by doing this.
되니 대소 창마 탑시 말해지 탑시 약슈고 마데더니 가서 딘디가 셈마케 받았던지 용에 겁나 대저 문망보 매받던지 늑사 대저 요뭐요 따니 딘디가 늑사서 어럭마락 따니 되니 말은 늑니 되니 가서 남쪽 라따야 돼 탑시 약슈디 되리.
So none of these are really solutions to our unhappiness. What we should do when we feel ourselves when we experience unhappiness or suffering is see whether we can go to a place where there are not too many others around, a quiet place, and sit down in meditation and bring our minds to rest and look directly at our minds.
되니 띠값은 가서 당분이 잡지게 보요고 그래 가서 다 나랑 그 심티 그런 거 자마자고 그런 총광나란 돌고 쪽볼라 카퍼 잡고 되니 때 그런 된지 제그 창통산 돌고 된지 제그 제다 그 된지 제용 거리다 니 인담만다 때그 된지 동금은 인담만다 그런 거 칼라 년금은 인담만다 그런라 탑수시고 인담만다 콜이 나랑 겨고 삼비디니 잡직도 당분이 요고 그래.
But it's important that we first have that we're mentally prepared. That is, that we know in advance that our minds will tell us they want to call up our friends, they want to drink alcohol, they want to eat food, they want to go shopping. We need to be aware that this is what our minds are going to be telling us, but determine, resolve that we won't let our minds make us do these things, that we won't listen to our minds, that we will struggle against them, and that we will achieve victory over them.
되니 말은 득니 되니 더 답변 나가서 심되니 겪으면 나랑 그 심마키비 남쪽도 간디 용건도 삼네 되니 따나 되니 심마키비 남쪽도 당보 용 되니 심나라 머키밥 조 Teni tendrishe gare darung montani te tatamna teni korang marmar teni semganala partamne teni me par changdo gare.
And by sitting down in meditation and looking at our minds when we're feeling unhappy, we will see that unhappy thoughts arise, and they will continue to arise for some time, but by continuing to be aware of them, they will begin to dissolve, they will begin to disappear.
Teni ngasola tindi toni yarka korma chi korma ni tindi top songna teni ngaso semganala hwadang yung gare zishin hwadang yung ne ta sem makipa yungna yakbore te ngarang ka jongdrshi na korkab yakbondo ngarang sem makipa yungna ga samni tindi sambat yung gare.
And by achieving victory in this way 1 or 2 times, then we will start to increase in our confidence and we'll begin to see times when we feel unhappy as opportunities to train our minds, such that we begin to even prefer times when we're feeling unhappy than moments when we're feeling happy.
Teni di kapsa teni ngaso namgin inna teni ngaso kumchokla teni soran devni lama kumchoksum la soran devni da mimang bogo ngarang la sim marki padang ngarang la shawa lamju teni mayong wa tetsunga mipa teni ngala shinlup teni nangro chi ngarang la sim kepodang ngarang la sim demo yong wa shawa lamju yong wa teni shinlup nangro chi ne ngaso namgin teni sondim da shina teni shega reze namgin.
Usually our habit is when we feel unhappy or in a time of not so good luck, our habit is to go before the Buddha and to pray that the Buddha bless us to eliminate our unhappiness and our suffering and bad luck and to bring about our happiness and good fortune. We pray to the Buddha in this way. This is how we tend to be accustomed to acting.
Teni di kapsa ngaso sondip jambazrizi nandun jambarizi di kapsa ngaso sondip teni komchoksum la soradamni ngarang la sim maki pada ngarang la shawa lamru me pada teni ngarang la nunshik dang simterda teni ngala tangrok ji izini teni sondip she garezi teni ngala tangna ngarang ga tela teni jondurshi thab gare o nga teni tangrok ji ize 다른 때니 추중다 좀 초반번 근도서 추중람 초반번 소르칸도니 나랑라 샤발람도 마용와 nga 심먹기 빠든지 땅으로 지지니 드리제 그러지 디캅스.
What we in fact need to do is make a different kind of prayer or a different kind of supplication to the Buddha, and that is one where we pray to the Buddha that unhappiness and bad luck, pressure, worry, bad fortune in fact be brought upon us. We pray that the Buddha may bless us by bringing upon all of this ill fortune, and in so doing give us an opportunity to train our minds. So we pray to the Buddhas, we pray to the protectors that they may rain down unhappiness and bad luck on us.
Oya inna ti kapsa ngasola mangji te tiyo gore ma to ba mangji chi mena nga tini te semaki pa tangro chizena tani sana maki pa yona halipa khabores.
However, it's necessary that we have some foundation in our practice before we make this kind of prayer.
Tani ti kapsa nga semaki pa mahtangro chizeni de zegrezi ti kapsa.
So when we just start out, it's okay if we make a prayer that unhappiness and bad luck is not rained down upon us, because it might be a bit difficult if it is.
Tadi ngaso yang namjin perda ngaso je chenjada sanjada yang ti shangda ti so kashi la yang tini ngaso perda dinlang la hayore dinlang la jibdak yore tini zechur yore tini shangdi jan tini chi tini so tini mar mebashi tini shina tini namkhani tok japjinrada tini jamda lungchimbo yongje tini jamda mambo yongji yore namjini nam chama te la zabzab shegre tini dindi ge nyamni yakbo shine teze tini padang yongkin to koso chit droni tini shangte dio na mar jet tini sa ko manin sa te so ko tini chi tini yang ko manin sa te so tama ko ni tini ta tok jamna japshok ta yakbore tini lung ina la yik tini kandi shi ji na she shok zeni tini shi ne tini koso nyamlin she gre de la chut ze gre chut.
So in Tibet there is a belief that in water, bodies of water, and in the earth as well as in trees that spirits reside, and that the spirits are capable of punishing humans if they are not treated in the right way. And so for this reason, people are usually extremely cautious in the way that they treat these natural formations, or the way that they treat the natural world. However, those who feel confident in their practice often go out and deliberately cut down trees and dig places in the earth that they're not meant to dig in order to invoke the punishment of the spirits, such as lightning and strong winds, etc., as a practice opportunity. And this kind of practice is referred to as jut.
든지급 샤와 삽신이거나 수술롱挑战者, 수술롱 침부시거나 However,
to really be able to work with these extremely large challenges, it's necessary that we first have a realization of emptiness. Doing so simply on a foundation of shamatha is not sufficient. This approach is referred to as self-challenging. And in fact, the basic principle of Buddhism is that the object that one seeks to achieve victory in respect of is not someone external to oneself, but one's own self precisely.
Dini mo janlan tabni jarkalen kento so ngaso mroa mi lorgi gitala jartung chumbum yoreze yena tong ngobu toni ngune tani mchila jarka tobya mare.
In the course of human history, fights that have been waged in respect of external enemies have been countless and endless. And we can say that, in fact, despite all of these struggles against external enemies, there has been really not even one victory.
Deni ranglan tabni deni jarkatop sona ranglan tapsupsini jarkatop sona deni jarkatopa nguma tere pena sanje shakjata patavandra bores.
However, in terms of those who struggled or battled against themselves and achieved real victory, there have been figures such as the Buddha.
Oya teni ta ngarang tsu terang ga ngato teni chatata teni jugzosong. Tamjo zumbanjo tome nibe jana anje. Igana je wano robai tubin dole doa joy. Rame juje wala jojo sadaram ye yanda rabzobi lorje janga